I did my research topic on Hawaii and why we should protect it and its people and its culture. So Hawaii is a beautiful chain of islands in the Pacific, and it's the 50th state, and it's also known as the Aloha State. The story of the island's colonization is rarely talked about. People assume since it's a state that the colonization was the same as the rest of the United States. The colonization of Hawaii was separate from the colonization of the rest of the United States. The native population were the Kanaka, or Native Hawaiian, and they were Polynesian descendants. Prior to the colonization, the island was populated by only natives for about 500 years. Hawaiian culture is very rich and holds high regards for the land and protection of its people. Native Hawaiians now only make up about 10% of the population, and their tongue is now considered an endangered species. Growing up, my auntie was told in school that she could not speak Hawaiian, and this was a product of the colonization. There's a rich history of trading in commodities such as sugarcane plantations and the pineapple plants, which my grandmother and her sisters actually worked on as children. With the islands being so in between Asia and the US, it made Hawaii a big hotspot for work. So this made Hawaii very diverse. The Portuguese, the Americans, the Japanese, the Korean, Chinese, Filipinos all came to work. More than that, it's just a big hot pot, and it's unlike any other place. I know America is like some big hot pot, but Hawaii is something I just can't explain. When the immigrants came to Hawaii from all around, they would sit together and eat their lunch. The Korean immigrants would bring their kimchi for themselves. The Japanese would bring their katsu. The Filipinos had adobo. The Hawaiians said, no, we share, just as we share the land and work together. For all the immigrants, a lot of the traditional staple dishes have a carb at the bottom, a hot stew-like thing on the top, and a meat and a cold vegetable. When they shared, they would have rice at the bottom, a Japanese curry topped with a chicken adobo, and kimchi on the side. Then the plate lunch was created. The plate lunch is now a traditional staple that has stood the test of time. And the plate lunch pretty much consists of anything that you can think of from multiple cultures when it comes to Hawaiian food. I wouldn't say it started fusion, but it kind of started its own wave, and Hawaii is kind of known for being just a big melting pot of fusion. And I think it applies to not only the food, but the people. I think the food is a good example. Although these foods are all from different cultures, just like the people, the dish operate in one culture in unison, and it's a perfect dish because it works as one in unity. The locals of Hawaii operate the same because they've been taught to work with each other and bring out the best in each other, and creating a diverse palette by continuing connecting and to create the perfect community which benefits the land. You see the culture in the locals on the inside and out. The people are a product of Āina, unity, and cohesion. Connecting to the land benefits the land and the people within in return. The Hawaiians live in the footstep of the indigenous. In a lot of native Hawaiian culture, indigenous does not necessarily entail race or ethnicity, but rather a lifestyle. This lifestyle entails providing for yourself and loved ones with gifts from the land, such as food and water, but not too much, and giving back to the land in return. The indigenous lifestyle is viewing yourself as a guest. You must value the people, the land, the water, the love, the community, and the culture all the same way. You take, you give back. Your family invites you for dinner, you bring food to share. You drink from the water, you pick up the trash you see in the river. We are guests here. A quote by an activist named Kaina Makua, who is a native, said this: "The land is not ours. Āina does not belong to us. Water, the resources, it's not mine. We are here to steward it for our time here." The definition of Āina is that Āina refers to that which feeds, that being the land and its produce, as well as the sea and all other living things that we collect from it to harvest to sustain ourselves. These ways have been continued to taught but are quickly dying, along with the land. Hawaii was officially declared a state in 1959. This upsetted a lot of natives as they felt that they were being pushed out of their land. Shortly after it was declared a state, it became a popular tourist spot due to the beauty of the island. The tourism has started to kill the land and hurting the Hawaiian culture. Many locals were begging people with no business on the land to stop visiting because it hurt the island so much. The natives have been stripped of their culture, their language, their identity, and now their land, and they watch it be destroyed. It was along with many of the native resources. Some reasons why they don't like it is tourists often are not able to recognize the delicate ecosystem, and they're rarely educated about the customs of the island. Lack of awareness, like littering, disturbing wildlife, adding more pollution, have led to big things such as major coral bleaching, decline in native species populations. For example, the honu, also known as the native Pacific green sea turtle, are protected by the government, and there are many restrictions and rules, and tourists are rarely aware of them. The honu are now critically endangered. Industrialization has caused population pollution and many other things that have been hurting the island. This industrialization is completely bulldozed over the native land and its people. Since Hawaii has been such a popular place for trade and work, in the sugarcane plantation days, they brought over mongoose to control the mice. The mongoose are now extremely invasive and prey upon native species and carry diseases. If you go to Honolulu now, you see these big business buildings and hotels that did not used to be there. That is not Hawaii, that is America. That's a common shared view, which I do also share. Those buildings are a product of American capitalism and not the Hawaiians. Most of Hawaiians cannot afford these luxury stores and big hotels that have been targeted towards tourists. Sorry. These big buildings are now considered New Hawaii and are not part of Hawaiian culture in many people's eyes, and do not abide by the concept of Āina. It's taking too much from the little land that there is, and it's not really respecting the culture or the people. It's more catering towards tourists and capitalism. The Hawaii that I know is not the one that my parents know, and they've expressed that with me. I think we need to lower unnecessary visiting, be mindful of the land, its people. I say that if you have no business there, no family, take only what you need from the land's resources. By the land, I just don't mean Hawaii, I mean everywhere. And just be more mindful of everything, and just caring for the land more and each other equally, and having more respect for everybody's upbringings and their different experiences and where they are from, because it is all different.